year is 2022 and the prediction by the late great artist Mac Miller was correct. Everything is a brand name. It's no secret that attention is the world's most valuable currency. If you've read the book Deep Work or you've watched any of Alex Hormozi's content, you'll understand that the modern play for any entrepreneur is to make valuable content on a medium in order for them to grow and build a loyal audience over time, then leveraging that audience and sell. Rihanna used her platform to transition into fashion. Conor McGregor did so with his whiskey company, Proper 12. 4Yard Entertainment, the YouTube company, started selling clothing and do-rags and a couple of other ventures. First Man, the YouTuber, started selling supplements and men's lifestyle courses, etc. And that's just listed my personal favorites. However, these brands are mostly run and mostly made from one brand name and one brand face. I'm always inspired by culture media hubs that operate on a high level without one brand name or one face of the brand, such as Complex, High Snobriety or House of Highlights. And over the past few years, I have observed what exactly has been happening with these media outlets. I wondered what would happen if these companies opened up shop and started selling physical products and goods while still maintaining that core base of cultural based content. Kick Game are good examples of music and sports getting mixed together for fashion or promotional purposes, and they're currently estimated at £10 million. This is just speculation, but when Lil Baby done his collab with Complex Sneakers shopping at the venue, at the location Soul Stage, the shop, Soul Stage probably got paid by Complex for that promotion, for letting them rent out their shop, or maybe it was just a cross deal. Maybe the owners are the same. These platforms mix journalism, professionalism, opinion pieces with meme culture and objective coverage of what happens in big cultural events. I've always thought these companies have such a strong brand. Why aren't they coming out with a beverage or a clothing line or something? Culture is a lifestyle, so these platforms wouldn't struggle to find their audience at all. Just looking at the amount of loyal followers and engagement that they already have. Okay, I know I'm being idealistic. A big reason why they don't do this, why these brands don't open up shop, is because it's not that simple. These are media companies usually funded by ads and the platforms that they reside on. Things are already going so well for them in the business model that they already have. It would be too much of an unnecessary distraction or too complicated to add to that business model. This is where influencers come into play. First of all, let's explain the main difference between an influencer and a celebrity. Celebrities are usually famous for a talent or craft. Influencers are usually intelligent, interesting, hardworking, and creative people who have leveraged modern day media successfully. I'm not saying one is easier than the others, but if it was a person's goal to create a voice and to have a voice for themselves, going down the influencer route would make more sense than trying to be a celebrity of some sort of talent. But to be honest, the easiest way to be a celebrity is if you're a child of somebody who is a celebrity. Celebrities and influencers are like cult leaders. They literally are cult leaders. Consumers are stakeholders of their quote-unquote business, but instead of buying in shares with money, they buy in with attention. That's the way Alex Hormozi explained it, and that is something that clicked with me. And the consumers are buying in with attention, they're buying in with views. Why do you think the word cult is in culture? Why do you think the word influence is in the word influencer? Why do you think Cristiano Ronaldo can successfully sell men's boxers when he's a footballer and men's boxers don't have anything to do with football? Why do you think Coca-Cola's shares drop when Cristiano Ronaldo puts a can of Coca-Cola away and says, no, I'd rather drink water? That's because Cristiano Ronaldo is an athlete. He represents athletes at the top of their game. A lot of people, particularly people that are younger, look up to him because we would all like to be more athletic, would all like to be more in shape, and he is the, I guess, quote-unquote epitome of that. He's the epitome of athleticism because he's one of the most rich and he's one of the most successful athletes. Whether you're the best footballer in the world or you're just a medium-sized podcast, an influencer's brand strength comes from what they represent. Some content creators represent sports skills like F2 freestylers, some represent dating and love, some represent being young and having fun in London, some represent being young and having fun in America. Some content creators represent self-improvement YouTube channels for both women and men. When these influencers decide to sell a product or collab with other brands, you can see the heart of their target audience through the brands that they choose to work with when it's done correctly. That's why I think what JD does with their Christmas ads, getting the biggest cult leaders from the urban demographic, getting them all together in one ad, where pretty much nothing's happening, there's just Christmas music and a bunch of visual effects and editing. I think that's genius personally, especially at the time where everybody's gonna be spending money and looking to thinking to themselves, what do I want, what do I need to buy, what should I get somebody else? The goal is to make the consumer feel seen and represented. We're in a time where it's possible to capitalize and provide a visceral, personal, complete experience to and of what a brand is and what a brand can be. This is possible because technology is so good and platforms are so easy to use. Let's remember, Rihanna isn't just a singer, Conor McGregor isn't just a fighter, For Your Entertainment and First Man, they're not just YouTubers either, they're entrepreneurs. The first project that an influencer does is the meat, the context, the identity of their debut single, debut album. However, all of the other projects that this influencer or artist would work on is the album rollout. So this would represent announced hits, interviews to build hype, mysterious drops, snippets, skits, cover art, concert experiences, merch, music videos. These things are all important and add seasoning. My point here isn't that if somebody comes up from making TikToks or Twitch, that any other project that they are a part of is equivalent to an album snippet of their story. That's not what the point is. The point here is that influencers, viewers, consumers and peers need to understand the individual's identity and what the individual person stands for as a brand before they can respect and buy into the next thing that these influencers do. The best projects have the same level of cohesiveness on all mediums because everything is a brand name, and a good brand needs a good reputation of delivering so that everything can be a brand name everywhere.